Hey, what's up, everybody? Or as I say, what it bees like everybody. This is Body Bell Outvet coming to you from the Get Right spot, and came to talk about some ideas I've been having lately. Well, some ideas that just came upon me today, and the idea is, being a philosopher. A philosopher contemplates ideas. A philosopher mainly, speaks on and tries to explain ideas as such and contemplates what they mean, what the larger picture of certain ideas mean to humanity. So a philosopher that's also a mental scientist. I'm a mental scientist. That means not only do I philosophize about ideas, I do it with from the standpoint that it's important for a reason. Like the ideas that are important can be structured mentally to where they have an effect on the individual and the greater society. So ideas are mental structures that express the world. It from that's from the macro mind, the greater mind. It has world effect. The individual mind has power of expression over the individual effect. So, being a philosopher and a mental scientist means you seek to understand one and make use of the other. I seek to make use of philosophy and the understanding that mind is first cause to have an effect on life in general. So that being said, I was thinking about hip hop, and I questioned the idea of what is hip hop, which seems like a question that's easy to answer because you know when it started, and you know where it started, and you know what it looked like when it started. But does that define hip hop? Is hip hop defined by where it started, how it started, who started it, and what that picture looked like? Is that the forever definition of hip hop? And what does that mean philosophically? What does it mean? So when I ask the question, what is hip hop? I'm asking, does it mean that it's how it originally was presented and has to be that from the point on to the end of time? Or is hip hop an idea that expands and grows as the people who participate in it expands and grows? So that means we got to tackle several different aspects of that question. Because if you look at what it started out as being, where and everything, then you'd have to say, okay, well, how do we define it? Does hip hop mean it is what I call, if I look at it a certain way, is it a ghetto mentality attached to beats and rhymes with certain other elements thrown in, like the elements of what they say hip hop is DJing, MCing, breakdancing. They throw in graffiti and uh, beatboxing. I think one of the others. So is it forever the mentality of the people at the time, which was lower income, street minded conversation over expression over, you know, beats were that were at the time. I guess they were sampled beats, sampled beats, hooked up to, you know, accentuate a rhyme. But my main angle of it is the mentality required for it to be hip hop? Do it need to be a impoverished street mentality for it to be hip hop? That's the question. What is hip hop? Is it the ghetto mind, ghetto mentality to a beat? Is that hip hop? Is that what it is forever? That's my first question. I mean, what does hip hop look like when it is not about certain aspects of a segment of society? Is it still hip hop if people who don't have that same background is doing the rhyming, who rap about different ideas? Is it still hip hop? I bring this up because I believe I came up with hip hop represented because of that question. I don't think hip hop is the initial mentality forever placed into the music atmosphere. I don't believe it's that mentality. I believe hip hop is whatever the people who want to rhyme two beats have individually and collectively. So that means hip hop should change with the people, with the mentality of the people who practice it. So why does it why does hip hop look in general, sound in general the way it does? I mean, everyone has an opinion on where it's at right now, and I like to hear people's opinion on where they believe it is and what it really means and what it's about compared to mine. And what I say it is right now is depends on who you listen to, of course, but the preponderance of its expression still runs down the same idealistic expression. Like it hadn't changed much. And there's that, what the reason behind that is, manyfold. But in the end, it's according to who's doing it. Who's doing it dictates what's expressed. So we can't, I don't get into that blaming outside of who's doing it to define why it's the way it is. I call it like the mind sees it. Like everything as a philosopher and a mental scientist tells me that if mind is first cause, then whoever's thinking of the rhyme is expressing hip hop. Whoever's thinking of the music is doing the music in a way that they think it should be done or whatever. So the mind behind it determines the expression. I mean, that's the first rule in understanding mental science. Whoever is expressing, they're expressing what they feel, what they see, what they want to express. So you got to put it on whoever's doing whatever, and not any larger idea behind it, because everyone, is behind their own words. Your mind is behind your words, and my mind is behind my words when it comes down to it. So if hip hop is what you say it is now, then you can chalk that up to, okay, that's who you paying attention to, who you listening to, and their mentality when they do what they do. So, in saying that, I'm saying that okay, the mentality right now is pretty much the same that it's been for the last preponderant. The preponderance of the mentality is the same for the last 30, 40 years. Like it is a ghetto mentality placed to beats. You know, I mean that's what it is. And philosophically, I'd like to ask why hasn't it changed? Why hasn't it evolved? Why hasn't it developed a more worldwide, multi um, class expression? And that's my question. Um, I'm on my end have decided to see if I can bring about a different representation, a different representation of what hip hop is to me right now. So I'm on a mission to curate what I want to represent as hip hop. That's why I came up with hip hop represented. And so I'm asking these questions. I'd like some feedback and let me know what you think. What's hip hop to you? What is hip hop to you? And once again, check out bodybyloud.com and thegetrightspot.com. I've used both of those sites as my vehicle to do what I do, curate music and spit philosophy. So thanks again for listening. Come check out the sites, come answer the questions if you don't mind, and have a pleasant evening wherever you are. Thanks again.